What's up, guys? It's Simon. So, sorry, I just finished mixing this and it has some dirt in it and the eggshells, and as you know, when you're crushing it, it makes a very dusty powder, and some of it got through my throat and I still choking on it. So, anyway, I wanted to share with you my Vanquishing powder and tell you what's about, what inspired me to make it, and what I'm going to use it for. And I also wanted to do a mini haul video. Oh, I have to be right back. I have to get one of the things that's part of the haul, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, I think I'm going to do the haul first, because it's thanks to the haul that I was able to make my Vanquishing dirt. So, or at least make it as potent as I'd like it to be. So, this whole video is going to be, I can't think of what the word is, but I want to say a thank you to Lisa the USA resident and Noah Tempestari. Thank you so much for being so kind and sending me these two things for me. I very much appreciate them, and Noah, I know that yours came I think a week ago, but I really wanted to wait until this one came in, so that way I could do it together, because I'm very appreciative, and I wanted to show my appreciation by sharing it in this video. And before I continue, I want to make sure that I have everyone understanding that I did not ask for these items. The people who gave them to me decided to do so on a whim. In fact, the first item I'm going to show you, I didn't even know about. It was a complete surprise to me. So this is not me, begging for people to give me anything. This is not me, going to people, trying to have people give me things for free and not expect anything in return. So now that that's all said, the first item is from Noah Tempestari, and I was so shocked when I saw this. It is a double feature 2 DVD set with The Covenant and The Craft. I can't remember saying this, but apparently I said in my, what was it? I think it was a 30 question Solomon tag. I talked about how I didn't see The Craft. I didn't remember saying that, but apparently I did, and he decided to get me this so that way I could watch it, and I'm so grateful, and thank you again, Noah, very much. And so the second thing comes from Lisa, the USA resident, and I'm trying to make sure that I say people's YouTube channel names, because, and not their real names, because I don't think they want to be publicized that way, so I'm trying to respect that. And this is burial ground dirt, specifically Native American burial ground dirt. And I can't remember the city that it came from, but it did come from Kentucky. And yeah, it wouldn't say so on the box because she sent it from her place. So yeah, I don't remember where it came from. I think it began with an A. Lisa, if you're watching this, please comment below what the city was called, so that way everyone can see it, because I can't remember. I feel like saying Albuquerque, but I don't think that's right, because I'm pretty sure that's in New York. But anyway, this was recently found burial site, and it was untampered. It wasn't, mined, it wasn't excavated, it wasn't turned into a museum or anything like that. And so she had a friend of hers collect some, and she sent me this much. It was actually, she was kind enough to, not tamper with it or anything, that leave it as much as the clump as it came in, and put it in this bag for me. And she sent it that way, and, I did a little ritual, I burned some tobacco, I communed with the spirits of the dirt, telling them first asking permission to work with them, and, letting them know my background to my story and where I'm coming from and what I'd like to have them not necessarily do for me, but with me. And yeah, it was a very wonderful experience. Um, I can't remember all the words I said because it was very spontaneous. It wasn't like a spell or anything. It was basically me just talking to them. But one of the things I did say was about showing me a sign that they were willing to work with me, and they spoke to me through the wind. That as soon as I finished asking the question of them giving me a sign, they, the wind blew and it spoke to me. They spoke to me through the wind, and what was even more interesting is that a ladybug landed on me after that as well. And throughout the process of me breaking up the clump and trying to like make it as powdery as possible and putting in this jar, a ladybug would constantly fly on and off me. And there were other little bugs, like there was a spider that popped out of nowhere that had a red abdomen and a either brown, dark brown or black rest of the body. And then there was that black red ant, the one that's kind of like multicolor. That one actually showed up. It was already in the bowl, so I don't know if it came out of the dirt or if it like just crawled in there without me knowing about. But it was very interesting to see the insects just swarm around like that. Because with every other dirt that I've collected, that's never happened. So it was very nice to experience nature on that, and it just goes to show you how connected the Native Americans were to the land, and correction are connected to the land, because even though they've in this case they've passed on, they're still very much connected, and I'm so grateful for this. I've wanted this for probably at least since the 2 years that I've actually been practicing hardcore. Um, Basically, what you can use this for is the same thing as graveyard dirt. It's just a little more spiritual in nature, and in turn, it kind of helps be a little more magical as well. And the reason why I wanted to work with Native American burial ground dirt instead of graveyard dirt is because um, it's mostly because of the fact that I live in the Bible Belt, and I know that any graveyard dirt that I'm getting, there's a 99% chance that it's coming from, even if I'm not collecting it from a grave site, there's 99% chance that, excuse me, most, if not all, of the people buried in that graveyard are strict Christians that would be very much against me with my practice, especially with it being witchcraft. And I didn't want to bring that type of energy into my craft, let alone into the house and onto the property. So I really wanted to get some spiritual dirt that would be more accepting of my practices. And so that's why I wanted to Native American burial ground dirt. Now, if I was in Texas, or if I was, I don't know, in Arizona or Louisiana or any of those places, or even in Massachusetts, then I wouldn't be, so set on getting this type of dirt. I'd be more willing to use the graveyard dirt because of the ethnic background and the spiritual practices that go on in those areas. But because I don't, um, I wanted to get some that would be more accepting of my practice. Now, what you see it on is actually, I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called. I don't know if it's like a hot plate or rather like a cooling plate or something like that, or I know it was used for the person who had it last as kind of like where you can set your cooking utensils. So instead of setting it on the stove or the counter, you set it on here. So that way, if it gets dirty, it goes on this and not your stove. And I've, of course, cleansed it, and it's been used for a few things. One of the main things that it was last used for was actually for my prosperity candle. It would sit on here. And I cleaned it off and, everything like that. stripped it of the energy, making it neutral again. And as you can tell, it says Cherokee. Now, oops, almost lost my pen. This dirt, as I said, came from Kentucky, and the main tribe of Native Americans that lived there were the Cherokee. I'm trying to remember the other two. One was the, I can't remember what they were right now, but which is kind of sad because Lisa and I had a conversation about it, and we were talking about the three tribes that were prominent in that area. But the Cherokee seemed to be the most prominent, so we both believe that this is more of a Cherokee burial ground. And I had this Cherokee, I'm just going to call it plate, and it was the Sequoia. As I was saying, yeah, sorry, something popped up on my phone and I was trying to get rid of it, and I accidentally clicked the wrong thing, and then it kicked me out of the video, the camera. So, as I was saying, this is the Sequoia's Cherokee alphabet, which was established in, well, this says it was declared official by the Cherokee Council in 1825, so I'm not quite sure what the 1828 has to do with anything, but this was created by a Native American. Sequoia is the name of the person who created this alphabet for the Cherokees to use. And so I'm kind of using it as almost like a charging plate for something that they would recognize and make them feel comfortable. And so I set that on there, and I set that kind of in a place where it won't be disturbed too much. So that was the little tiny haul that I had. It may be tiny, but I'm so grateful for both of them. Thank you, Noah, and thank you, Lisa, so much. Now, back to the Vanquishing powder. This was inspired by Midnight Goddess's comment on, I believe it was the Lady Grave Dancer's eggshell video. And she said how I don't remember if she called it anything, but she said that she uses eggshell, lemon peel, orange peel, ginger root, and I can't remember if it was paprika or pepper, or I don't remember, but it was one more thing, and I decided to make my own, and some of it, there was a small scoop of the burial ground dirt that I used. I'm going to be using this dirt primarily for protection, and kind of almost like being soldiers of our property, of our land, to kind of fight for us and keep us protected, to keep us healthy, to keep prosperity coming our way, to kind of just be like guardians for my family and I. And so I put a little scoop of that in this dirt, and I used, it's primarily eggshell, and then I broke up lemon peel and orange peel and ginger root, and then I also crushed up some juniper berries, and I mixed in some crushed red pepper as well. And then I got this beautiful little concoction, and this is basically going to be used for kind of like banishing negative entities and people from the property, keeping us safe, keeping our property safe, keeping our possessions safe, keeping us healthy, keeping the area cleansed and protected, keeping us strong and full of energy and vitality. So yeah, that's what this is all for. Vanquishing all the bad and all the ill intent ill intentions, so that way we can be as productive and prosperous and positive as possible. So that's all I have to show for you guys, and I hope it inspires you to make your own. And if you do, please tag me in the video, and also feel free to comment below saying that you made one. I'd love to check it out. And as always, thank you for watching, and blessed be, my dear witchlings.